Yo, what's up YouTube? It's ZTAY aka Low Red. I want to talk about this game that happened last night, the Raptors versus Bucks, because a crazy ending happened. The Raptors were down 14 points with a minute left, and Scottie Barnes and Van Fleet kind of just led them to an insane comeback that nobody was expecting. Half the crowd was already gone. But I went back and rewatched this game last night. I watched it till 3 in the morning. Alright, just to see what really happened. And honestly, this was one of the worst games offensively that I've seen all season. The first quarter, both teams couldn't even score. I think the Raptors started the game 0 for 14, and the Bucks had a stretch where they went like 0 for 13 or something like that. It didn't look good. Neither team was playing good. Both teams were turning the ball over. Now, Giannis finished with a triple-double, 30 points, 21 rebounds, his second highest on the season. He had 22 a couple games ago. And even last game, nobody was even talking about it, but he had a 55-point game just because now that the entire NBA is scoring 50s and 60s and 40s every single game, nobody talks about it. So Giannis, coming off a big game, scores another 30-point triple-double. But one thing I want to say about this, Giannis playing point guard is crazy to me. I actually kind of like it. I like watching it because they had no Drew Holiday. So Giannis had to step into point guard, and he had 12 turnovers because of this. Also, from the Raptors, one thing I noticed, Scottie Barnes didn't do anything the first half. I think he had 0 points the first half. For your star player, not necessarily your star, but everybody's expecting him to be a superstar. You could say Siakam is the star right now, who actually didn't have the best game. Scottie Barnes has to be more aggressive to start the game, bro. Brook Lopez is guarding him and turning his back to him when he's at the three-point line. They are treating Scottie Barnes like he is Ben Simmons, and he's got to start shooting the ball, bro. I don't understand why he waits to the fourth quarter to start shooting threes. You're not warmed up by then. You went the whole game without shooting. You're gonna miss, and they weren't even bad misses. They were good misses. Scottie Barnes, that being said, scored 19 points at the end of the game, is the only reason that the Raptors are even in this, to be honest. Driving in, attacking Brook Lopez, a 7-foot center, and hitting hook shots over him is crazy to me. Van Fleet started the game kind of rough, then had a little streaky patch, then rough again, and then at the end of the game he was hitting some clutch threes. For the Bucks, Pat Connaughton was hitting his threes, looked pretty good. Grayson Allen had a couple clutch threes, including the game when he shot on the 10th assist by Giannis Antetokounmpo, but that game shouldn't even been in overtime. The Bucks already had that game won. It looked like they were just trying to get out of there. The fans started leaving the game. They were down 14 with 1 minute left, and Scottie Barnes got an and one. So I want to know what you guys think. Do you think Scottie Barnes should be shooting threes, or do you think he should just stick to that Draymond role? Because that's what I see him as right now, is a Draymond Green. And he's better than that. Scottie Barnes, be more aggressive. Why does it take you the whole game to be more aggressive? Also, in this game, the Bucks out-rebounded the Raptors, and it wasn't even close. The Bucks had 73 rebounds, and I think the Raptors had 40-something. Giannis had 21 by himself. I think Bobby Portis had some rebounds. Brook Lopez had a whole bunch of rebounds. And that speaks that the Raptors don't have a big man. You could say Chris Boucher, but he's not a big man. He stands at the three-point line. Siakam is not a center. He's a big man. He's not a center. He's not going to out-rebound Giannis or Brook Lopez. The Raptors, watching them in this game, I understand why people are saying they have a problem. Because not only do they have zero offense, zero half-court offense, the only thing they have is defense. At the end of the game, the only reason they're in that game is because they're doing full-court traps. And the Bucks were getting lazy with it. They should have been doing that the whole game. You have Giannis running point guard, no Drew Holiday, no Chris Middleton, no guards for the Bucks. Full court trap. Treat it like a high school game, because that's what it looked like at the beginning of the game. It looked like a high school game. Both teams were just turning the ball over. Giannis had 12 turnovers as the point guard. That being said, he still had a couple good passes. But bro, when Giannis launched that hook shot pass, that thing goes into the third row stands. You guys seen at the end of the game, the trap worked. That's all the Raptors have is defense. They got Anunoby, Siakam, VanVleet's not really the best defender. Scotty Barnes is an elite defender. Boucher. Precious Achua, who kind of got scared after he missed that 3 towards the end. I noticed that too. So I think the Raptors should make some trades. I could definitely see OG Anunoby going because he didn't even look good last night, to be honest, number one. And I don't think he really helps them. Gary Trent clutching it up at the end. He's their only scorer on offense besides VanVleet. Him and VanVleet are their only scorers, and they're not consistent scores. They're inconsistent scores. I think they should trade Anunoby because VanVleet is not getting Anunoby good looks. VanVleet is more of a shoot first point guard. He's not going to get anybody looks. And then you got Gary Trent, who is a shoot first shooting guard. They don't have a playmaker besides Scotty Barnes, but Scotty Barnes isn't a point guard. He's like a Draymond point forward. Therefore, he's not going to be taking the ball up in pick and roll sets. He's more of that dribble handoff man, you know, the fake handoff drive attack type of dude. Going back to the rebounds, Brook Lopez had 19 rebounds. Connaughton, 0 turnovers. Connaughton was very efficient as he was the only one really doing anything the first half consistently for either team. Giannis, you could say, but Giannis honestly had a rough game this game. It didn't really look like it. There was dominance, obviously. They couldn't stop him. It was sloppy. They couldn't stop him. They just kept fouling him. That's where he got most of his points, was at the free throw line because he didn't shoot that well from the field. He did have a clutch 3 at the end. He did his thing. Giannis played good. I'm not saying he played bad, but the 30-point triple-double definitely looks better than what he was doing, except for rebounding. His rebounding was elite, but I would say and argue that it's not that impressive going against the Toronto Raptors, probably one of the worst rebounding teams in the league. I'm just saying that. I'm just throwing it out there. I really don't know analytically, but that's what it looks like. What do you guys think about this game? Giannis, another triple-double, second of the year, 4 straight games. Let me read this off to you guys. Giannis's last 4, 45 points, 22 rebounds, 7 assists. The next game after that, 43 points, 20 rebounds, 5 assists. The next game after that, 55 points, 10 rebounds, 7 assists. And last night, he had 30, 21, and 10. Giannis' last 4 games been crazy. Do you guys think Giannis could win MVP? And also, do you think Scotty Barnes should be more aggressive? Moving on, we got my LA Lakers. And bro, let me be the first to say this because I have not liked Dennis Schroeder the entire year. I've been saying I want us to trade him. Every single time I watch the Lakers, I get frustrated with him. Even last night, I was getting frustrated with him. So maybe I'm just a Dennis Schroeder hater, but last night, let me give him his credit, bro. He gets hurt at the end of the game, yelling in pain, and stays in, hits the free throws, and then closes out the game. That being said, Russell Westbrook off the bench, really good game, 20-something points, I think, 21 points, 8 rebounds, 9 assists. Russ did have 7 turnovers, but they were all in the first half. He didn't turn it over in crunch time. The second half, not at all. He turned it around. Russ also had the second highest plus minus on the team to Austin Reeves. Austin Reeves had the highest plus minus in the game at plus 15. Russ with a plus 12. So Reeves obviously is a big part of the Lakers. He's like the glue. He's like the Caruso. But Dennis Schroeder and Thomas Bryant. Shout out to Thomas Bryant. Thomas Bryant, this game went crazy. 21 points, 9 rebounds, 9 for 11. Super efficient, and he had a block. Thomas Bryant is a really solid center, and I hope when Anthony Davis comes back, we finally give Thomas Bryant the minutes that he deserves. Wenyen Gabriel is also a really good big. That being said, we should just trade Damian Jones if we could even get anything for him, because there's no place for him on this roster unless there's a big injury to Thomas Bryant, which let's not hope not. Talking about injuries, Troy Brown Jr. got hurt. I think it was a left hamstring or something. LeBron James, Anthony Davis did not play this game, and that was the big story because last time that happened, we went against the Suns. Everybody was expecting Dennis Schroeder to lead us that game, score 30. He didn't, and we got smacked. It wasn't even watchable, and that's what I thought was going to happen last night. But the Heat, I don't know about the Heat. They kind of been struggling. Tyler Hero played horrible this game. He shot horrible. I think it was like 4 for 14. I may be wrong. Correct me down below. Jimmy Butler did his thing. Bam Adebayo played really good. A lot of people saying he should be in the conversation for top 3 center, if not 4. So Bam played really good. Also, a story to this game that I want to talk about is Kendrick Nunn, because last time, obviously, this is his former team, the Heat. When we were in Miami, we lost, and he didn't get a single minute. So that probably sucked for him, but he honestly hasn't been playing this season very good, so he doesn't deserve it. But last night he got some minutes and he actually played good. Defensively, he's not the best. He injured his shoulder but stayed in the game. But Kendrick Nunn had 15 minutes, 9 points, 4 for 9, 0 turnovers, and he had no minutes the last game we played the Heat. So I bet that felt good for Kendrick Nunn. At least he finally came in and did something productive, kind of. But not only did Dennis Schroeder have 30 points and make 4 threes and shoot pretty efficiently and only have 1 turnover, he had 4 steals. Dennis Schroeder had 4 steals, and also Russell Westbrook 3 steals, huge steals, and a huge matchup. He did a good job guarding Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler didn't go crazy. He didn't have those crazy clutch moments in the end. Russell Westbrook played really good, solid defense on Jimmy Butler, and I want to give Russ his credit. This game surprised me, but it felt really good. That being said, I don't think the Heat are that good. They should be a lot better. Max Strus didn't have the best game. Tyler Hero didn't have the best game. I didn't even see Caleb Martin do anything. Bam and Jimmy were the only ones doing anything. So I'm just happy the Lakers won. It was a really, really good win. One of the best wins on the season, to be honest. We actually closed the game out, and it felt really good. Westbrook did miss a free throw at the end. It kind of scared me, and they had a chance. But Dennis Schroeder went to the line, hit them both, and we finished with a win. Moving on, we got the Bulls versus the Nets, and the Bulls, finally, somebody ended the Nets' 12-game winning streak, and a lot of people were saying the Bulls could do it. They did it, but they did it through Patrick Williams. I did not watch the game, so I can't really say too much about this game, but Kevin Durant dropped 44 points and they still lost. I think the big story of this game I was looking at was free throws. The Bulls shot 27 from 29 from the free throw line, and most of them were Patrick Williams. DeRozan obviously had his good game, but every single starter in the Bulls starting lineup was in double figures. And Patrick Williams dropped 20 points. How much did Patrick Williams score? 22, 7, and 2, 6 for 8 from the field, and 3 for 4 from 3. That's a really efficient game. I think Patrick Williams is one of the most efficient players on this team, if not the most efficient player on the team. Ayo also had a really good game. I think he had 17 and 7. Zach LaVine, probably the weak link in the starting lineup. He only had 13, 5, and 4 and shot 4 for 11. DeRozan had 22, 7, and 3. And Vucevic, 21 and 13. Probably one of his best games in the season. And the Nets go on to lose. All they had really this game was Durant and Kyrie doing anything. Royce O'Neal had 35 minutes and 0 points. That's crazy. How can you play 35 minutes in an NBA game and have 0 points as an NBA player? He went 0 for 9 from the field, 0 for 8 for 3. That's horrible. That's unacceptable. That's a big reason they lost. And yeah, I don't really have much to say about this game. You guys could speculate about this one down below in the comments. It's just crazy that the Nets got their win streak snapped. And not only that, they're going up against a tough schedule soon. I think they got the Pelicans next. So it's going to be tough for the Brooklyn Nets. It's going to be a test to see if they're actually like that. What do you guys think? And then we got this game. DeJounte Murray steals it from De'Aaron Fox at the end of the game. Hits some clutch free throws. Comes up with an and one, I think, at the end. DeJounte Murray finished this game out, finally proving that he's worth the first 3 first-round picks. Also, another crazy thing from this game. Both teams, starting lineups, everyone scored 20-plus points. And I'm not joking. John Collins, 22 and 12. DeAndre Hunter, 22 and 8. DeJounte Murray, 22, 6, and 4. Trae Young, 21 and 6. For the Kings, Sabonis, 20, 14, and 8. Fox, 25, 5, and 5. Barnes, 22 points on 7 for 15 shooting. And Kevin Huerter, 22 and 5. That's crazy. Not often you see a game where everybody in the starting lineup dropped 20 points, but both of these teams are very good scoring teams. Especially, you would think the Hawks would be a little better defensively now they got DeJounte Murray. Obviously, he's getting the game-winning steal, but they're still letting teams score a whole bunch of points. The Kings, same thing. De'Aaron Fox, one of the best fourth quarter players in the league. He showed it again tonight. Let's not get it twisted just because he lost this ball right here. He was playing good in the fourth quarter up to this point. He was scoring in the fourth quarter. He's still living up to that reputation. DeJounte Murray just had an answer. DeJounte Murray finally finished the game. Finally did something that the Hawks wanted to see. Trae Young kind of let him step into the spotlight. Trae Young kind of took a step back, it looked like. Obviously, Trae Young's not going to, intentionally take a step back, but DeJounte Murray just kind of took control of this game. And then bench scoring, also a big story in this game, because I only did go back and watch the fourth quarter of this game. I didn't watch the whole game. So I do want to credit Bogdanović for scoring 17 and 8 off the bench. Free throws. This is huge. I think this is one of the biggest reasons that the Kings lost the game. They shot 27 free throws and they made 25. They missed 2. Those 2 free throws they missed came at the end of the game from Sabonis. They had a chance, I believe, to go up by 3 or 4 points, and Sabonis missed both free throws, and it kind of shifted the momentum in this game because it looked like the Kings had it. It looked like the Kings had this game, and Sabonis went to the line and missed both free throws. But yeah, bench points, the Hawks had 26 and the Kings had 18. That's a pretty big story. I think that the Hawks got a big game from Bogdanović. All of the players for the Hawks stepped up and played good in this one. And the Kings, they didn't play bad. They should have won this game. But I think that those free throws by Sabonis kind of hurt them at the end of the game. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. This also stops a 4-game losing streak for the Atlanta Hawks. And not only that, their last 6 games, they only won 1 time. And that 1 win was against the Detroit Pistons. So the Hawks been really struggling. I'm not just making it up about DeJounte Murray finally doing this. The Hawks been looking for this from somebody. Because the season hasn't been that good for the Atlanta Hawks. And I'm not saying it's a bad season, but the expectations for the Hawks are better. I think before the end of this game, they were 13th in the East. That can't happen. They should be in the playoffs. And maybe they moved up now. Maybe I'm wrong. But I think the Hawks will make the playoffs. This game was huge, especially against a underrated, very, very good, maybe not even underrated no more, Kings team. And last but not least, we have the Cleveland Cavaliers versus the Phoenix Suns. In this game, the ending of this game, I liked it. I'm not saying this game was the best game offensively because I think both teams didn't really shoot that good. Both teams' players didn't have the best games, including Donovan Mitchell throughout this game. Not saying he had a bad game, but he shot 6 for 20, I think, in this one. But that being said, it looked like the Suns were going to pull away at the end. They had a pretty comfortable lead in the fourth quarter with only a couple minutes left. And as soon as the Cavs put in Donovan Mitchell, the momentum switched up and they started playing better. Caris LeVert had a really good game in this one. I think LeVert had 21 points. He shot 71% from 3. He had a really efficient game, which is not really normal, I feel like, for Caris LeVert because he's that type of player. I'm going to get my shots up. But, hey, confident towards the end. Sometimes questionable watching the game from a fan standpoint because I'm not saying he's bad. Caris LeVert, if you guys remember, on the Nets was that man, especially in the playoffs in the bubble. He was that man. That's what he's used to. And I feel like that's the same type of thing with Dennis Schroeder, when he was that man for the Thunder with Chris Paul in the bubble. So these dudes still have that mindset. But when you have Donovan Mitchell at the end of the game and he's saying, slow it down, you can see him kind of saying slow down, and LeVert just goes crazy and just takes a kind of contested shot and then makes it. You can't really say anything, but it's just like, yo, LeVert, chill. But he had a really, really good game. Donovan Mitchell came back and helped the Cavs finish this one out. Chris Paul had a decent game. Shamet had a kind of clutch game towards the end, but shot horribly this game. Finally, DeAndre Ayton played pretty good. He had 18 rebounds, I think 17 points. He had a couple missed shots at the end I think were makeable, or a couple, you know, passes that he could have caught, it didn't catch, or he got a jump ball towards the end, I think, or at the end, I think. So the Suns are still struggling without Devin Booker. Obviously, Chris Paul cannot lead this team. Not saying he can't lead them to a win versus a below average team, but he's not going to beat the Cleveland Cavaliers. He almost did. But again, the Cavs without Darius Garland come back towards the end. Mobley, who was 1 for 8, I think, before that game-winning shot, hit the game-winning shot. 1 for 8, struggling, and he still had the confidence to hit the game-winning shot. A little mid-range pull-up out of the corner, cut to the free throw line, hit it. Because they knew they were going to help. It was good play design. I like it. Mobley didn't have the best game, but he finished it off in the best way. But I would argue that nobody in this game had a very good game except for Caris LeVert. You could say Chris Paul, but I don't even think Chris Paul shot efficiently from the field. He still had a pretty impactful game, a good game, statistically outside of field goal percentage, but still. But yeah, last night was crazy. Obviously, we still had the Warriors game where Klay Thompson hit the game tying shot, Poole kind of selling at the end, fumbling the ball, and then a miraculous shot by Sadiq Bey to win the game. I did a reaction on that, so if you guys want to watch that, I'll put it at the end of this video. But last night, 7 of the 12 games in the entire league were decided by 3 points or less. Also, let's talk about the Sixers game before we end the video, because, you know, I got to give my boy James Harden some credit. No Embiid, James Harden game sealing block in overtime, just like in that bubble versus the Thunder against Lou Dort. Harden comes up clutch. Everybody says he can't play defense, but he gets the game-winning block. Not only that, he had 26, 6, and 8. 2 blocks in the game, not just that one. So James Harden stepping it up. Montrez in that game, 19 points off the bench. Pacers kind of blow a lead. Halliburton, I think, had 12 assists. So tough loss for the Pacers. Good win for the Sixers without Joel Embiid. Harden proving that he could still lead a team full of nobodies. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this little NBA video. Also, Jalen Brunson, I want to say, got his career high 38 points, and the Knicks won by 3, I think, versus the Spurs. So who cares? But yeah, also the Spurs are tanking. I got those 5-second violation, and then they didn't even shoot it at the end. So we obviously see it. They want Vic. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know if you like these type of videos down below in the comments. Let me know your takes on yesterday's game. What's your favorite team? Did your team win or lose? And what's your take on it? Hope you guys enjoy. This is ZTAY.